I'm Zahir, Kelvin Abdullah, and this is Nightline. The top stories. Bursa Malaysia climbs to 15-month peak, while Ringgit hits near 6-year high, its strongest performance since 2020. Applications for SOCSO benefits can be made online from January 1st. Good morning. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim has welcomed the International Monetary Fund's IMF latest assessment of Malaysia's economic performance. In the social media post late Friday, Anwar said the government's priority is to make sure economic stability is not only managed responsibly but also felt by Malaysians. He emphasized that the government will continue to manage public finances prudently while accelerating reforms under the 13 Malaysia Plan. Anwar added that the goal is to ensure economic growth remains strong and resilient while delivering meaningful benefits to all Malaysians. Meanwhile, IMF's Mission Chief for Malaysia, Masahiro Nozaki, said this strong performance partly reflects the nation's sound economic policies, adding that the authorities have maintained prudent macroeconomic and financial policies. He said that while the recent Malaysia-US trade deal has helped reduce uncertainty for businesses and consumers in Malaysia, the global landscape has shifted, with global uncertainty becoming a new normal. Meanwhile, at Bursa Malaysia, the local Bursa closed the week sharply higher, with the FBM KLCI climbing 19 points or 1.15% to 1,665.90, marking an almost 15-month high and surpassing its previous peak of 1,660.09 seen on September 27, 2024, as domestic sentiment strengthened ahead of year-end portfolio flows. Earlier on December 15, the benchmark index touched a 14-month high of 1,643.72, exceeding the 1,642.54 level seen on October 22, 2024. Analysts say buying interest rotated back into large-cap financials, supported by stable local rates and a firmer ringgit easing near-term funding costs concerns. Over at the foreign currency exchange, the ringgit strengthened to 4.07 against the US dollar at Friday's close, its strongest in nearly 6 years. The level was last seen on January 15, 2020, when the ringgit closed at 4.074 against the US dollar. Meanwhile, Malaysia recorded total trade of 263.8 billion ringgit in November, an 11% increase from the 237 billion ringgit recorded last year. The Department of Statistics Malaysia said expansion was driven by stronger external demand, supported by higher re-exports and domestic exports. Exports rose by 7% to 135 billion ringgit, while imports jumped by 15% to 128.9 billion ringgit. Growth was driven by electrical and electronic or E&E products, along with optical and scientific goods, supported by stronger demand from Taiwan, China and Hong Kong. Meanwhile, the rise in imports was attributed to higher inflows from China, Costa Rica and South Korea, involving E&E products, machinery and metal ores. From January to November, the cumulative trade value reached nearly 2.8 trillion ringgit, underpinned by continued strength in both exports and imports. Starting next January, all applications for benefits under the Social Security Organisation or SOCSO under 4 main acts can be submitted online. Human Resources Minister Datuk Seri R. Ramanan said the digitalisation initiative covers the Employees Social Security Act 1969, the Self-Employed Social Security Act 2017, the Employment Insurance System Act 2017 and the Housewives Social Security Act 2022.
Sekarang boleh buat atas talian menggunakan sama ada handphone atau PC mulai 1 Januari 2026. Jadi saya ingat ini adalah satu yang bagus sebab mereka dapat menjimatkan masa dan juga jimatkan kos perjalanan mereka untuk pergi ke pejabat-pejabat perkisor.
The minister was speaking to the media after his first official working visit to the SOXO Tower in Kuala Lumpur on Friday. Apart from digitalization, Ramanan said efforts are underway to implement the non-workplace accident scheme, also known as Lindung 24 Jam, by the first quarter or by the end of the second quarter of next year. Touching on cross-border workers, he said SOXO plans to introduce a traveller scheme with a feasibility study to be conducted next year to identify the most suitable protection mechanism. According to Ramanan, almost 400,000 Malaysians cross the Johor Causeway daily to work in Singapore, adding that he had instructed SOXO to find ways to provide these workers with adequate protection to ensure their safety. Motorists will enjoy a 50% discount on toll rates on December 23rd and 24th in conjunction with the Christmas celebrations. Works Minister Datuk Sri Alexander Nantalinggi said the move will cost the government an estimated 20.65 million ringgit in compensation to highway concessionaires. The discount will be available to Class 1 private vehicles, including Class 2 on the Penang Bridge at all toll plazas, except at national border entry points, namely the Sultan Iskandar Building Toll Plaza on the North-South Expressway and the Tanjung Kupang Toll Plaza on the second Malaysia-Singapore link. In a statement, Nanta said the government hopes the 50% reduction will help to ease travel costs for Malaysians as they return to their hometowns to visit their families for Christmas or enjoy time with their families during the school holiday season. He added that it is also in line with the government's aspiration to reduce the cost of living for Malaysians across all faiths, ethnicities and beliefs. The Malaysian Highway Authority, or LLM, meanwhile expects to see up to 2.6 million vehicles per day on major highways during the peak period of this year's Christmas celebrations. In a statement on Friday, LLM said traffic is expected to build up from as early as Friday, December 19, especially on routes heading to the East Coast, the North and South. Of the total, around 2.2 million vehicles are expected to travel on highways managed by the Plus Group, while the remainder will use the KL Karak Highway, East Coast Highway Phases 1 and 2, and the West Coast Expressway. To ensure smooth traffic flow, all highway concessionaires have been instructed to be thoroughly prepared, including prohibiting lane closures, except for emergency works, activating smart lanes at 30-plus highway locations, and ensuring toll collection systems function properly. LLM has also directed additional facilities such as portable parking and toilets at rest and service areas and ensuring sufficient fuel supplies at petrol stations along highways. The Prime Minister has underscored the enduring importance of the media as a cornerstone of society, describing it as a guardian of integrity and a vital bridge across cultural divides. Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim said the media plays an irreplaceable role in fostering an uniform and informed and cohesive society, noting its strategic partnership in advancing the vision of Malaysia Madani by promoting good governance, transparency, knowledge sharing, and social harmony. Anwar said this in a recorded speech presented at the 58th Annual Conference of the World Chinese Press Institute in Georgetown, Pulau Pinang on Friday.
In advancing the Malaysia Madani vision, the media is a partner in promoting good governance, transparency, the sharing of knowledge, and social harmony.
The event was officiated by Pulau Pinang Chief Minister Chow Kon Yeow. Highlighting this year's conference focus on media innovation in the era of artificial intelligence, the Prime Minister said AI is reshaping how information is produced and disseminated, offering opportunities to improve efficiency and reduce costs. Anwar also noted that the World Chinese Press Institute, established in 1968, continues to defend press freedom, uphold professional standards, and foster cooperation among Chinese language media globally. With more than 100 member organizations, the Institute has emerged as a respected and influential voice in the global Chinese press.
And foster collaboration among Chinese language media worldwide. For Malaysia, the media remains a vital pillar of public life. The press is a guardian of integrity and a bridge between cultures, and it plays an indispensable role in nurturing informed and cohesive communities.
The flood situation, which is currently affecting 4 states in Peninsular Malaysia, has shown slight improvements. As of 8 p.m., 13,402 evacuees are sheltering in 86 temporary relief centres or PPS nationwide. According to the National Disaster Management Agency, NADMA, Pahang remains the most impacted state with 11,699 individuals evacuated to 69 relief centres in 8 districts. Terengganu has recorded 1,195 evacuees in 10 PPS in Kemaman and Dungun. In Johor, 356 individuals from 93 families are sheltering in 3 centres in Mersing. Meanwhile, Kelantan has the lowest number of evacuees with only 77 in 4 PPS in Kuala Krai.
Melihat kembali kanvas penuh warna dan helaian fakta.
Menurut peristiwa, kisah dan detik yang membentuk arah negara dan dunia.
Imbasan 2025, retrospektif wajah masa depan.
Ahad 28 Disember 5.32 petang hanya di TV3 dan stream HD ditonton.
Pemodalan Nasional Berhad or PNB has announced a total income distribution of 5.75 sen per unit for its largest unit trust fund Amanah Saham Bumiputra ASB for 2025. The dividend amounts to 10.4 billion ringgit, which will benefit 11.4 million unit holders. In a statement on Friday, PNB Group Chairman Raja Tan Sri Arshad Rajatun Uda said the payout is the highest quantum of annual distribution paid since ASB's inception. He added that the cumulative income distribution of 206.7 billion ringgit reflects the resilience and strength of ASB's investment portfolio. The dividend distribution rate was achieved amid a challenging domestic public equity market environment. PNB also expects the underlying economic fundamentals to remain positive, with Malaysia's gross domestic product growth in 2025 projected to reach between 4.0 and 4.8%. This outlook is further supported by significant investment inflows as well as the strengthening of the ringgit, which has appreciated by 8.7% to 4.09 against the US dollar. The Bank of Japan, BOJ, raised interest rates on Friday to levels unseen in 3 decades and signaled its readiness for further hikes. The BOJ unanimously raised its main borrowing rate to 0.75% from 0.5% hours after official data showed core inflation in November remained steady but above the 2% target. The central bank said it acted as wages and inflation are expected to rise moderately together, while real interest rates remain very low. It added that it would continue to raise rates if economic and price forecasts hold. The move takes interest rates to levels unseen since 1995, when Japan was reeling from the burst of an asset-inflated bubble that drew the BOJ into a prolonged battle with deflation. Teen remanded for allegedly ramming into motorcyclists. This and more from the local front after this breather.
Kisha, satu nama, 1000 luka.
Janji cucu kesayangan nenek ni kahwin. Ya tak kau Diorang tetapkan mak dengan ayah Syah.
Pencarian cintanya tidak mudah.
Kenapa kau pergi jumpa dia lagi?
Aku pergi ambil ni. Nenek kan baru je kenal dia. Boleh tak jangan percaya dengan dia? Kau sedar diri tak? Ha? Dia tu lebih setaraf dengan aku berbanding dengan kau.
Kita kena hormat keputusan Kisha.
Perempuan tidak ternikah. Isnin hingga Jumaat 7 malam di Akasia TV3.
Pentas ini milik bintang nombor 1. Tahniah.
Kita repeat lagi tahun depan.
Ya.
Lagi.
APPBH 37, satu keunggulan, tiada lawan.
Drama fenomena dituntun, kini ditayangkan di TV3. Pelariannya bukan kerana benci.
You bersumpah you takkan balik lagi rumah ni.
Tapi untuk merasa dicintai.
Rambus, you should wear this.
Why?
Because you're a Muslim.
Salju Rindu di Bumi Auckland, Isnin hingga Khamis 10 malam di Samarinda TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Saya dikritik macam mana sekalipun, tak ada sekali pun saya balas balik. That is self-control. Because if I fail to control myself, my emotion, I ni pelakon. My job is to control my emotion. Until today, saya bersyukur sangat-sangat. Saya mempunyai kerjaya dalam bidang lakonan. Itu bagi saya kemenangan untuk diri saya sendiri.
Hai ombak yang menyapa pantai, kabarkan hatiku punah
Welcome back. Negeri Sembilan police have detained the husband of the woman whose body was found stuffed inside a bag and buried behind an unoccupied house in Rembau. The state's Deputy Police Chief, Senior Assistant Commissioner Itzam Jaffar, said the man who is the main suspect in the case was detained in Genting Sempah, Pahang on Friday. When contacted, Itzam said preliminary investigations revealed that the main suspect and his wife had argued over financial matters prior to the incident. The post-mortem was completed on Friday, but there was no word on the details of the report. On Thursday, a 41-year-old man, known to the victim's husband, was arrested in Malacca. The body in the bag was believed to be linked to the disappearance of 53-year-old Suri Narudin, who was reported missing on December 8th. Suri was scheduled to depart for Switzerland on December 9th to meet friends but never arrived at her destination. The psychiatric report of the teenager who allegedly stabbed his schoolmate to death at a school in Selangor will be released on January 16. The date was set by the Petaling Jaya Magistrates Court on Friday. The suspect's lawyer, Kitson Fung, said Magistrate Amira Sariati Zainal set the date for the hearing after allowing his application for an extension of time to obtain the report from Hospital Bahagia Ulu Kinta, Perak. The proceedings were conducted behind closed doors as the case involved a juvenile suspect. Fung added that his client is currently undergoing treatment at the hospital and is showing a positive response. In the October 14 incident, the 14-year-old suspect was accused of killing a 16-year-old schoolgirl at a secondary school in Banda Utama between 9:20 and 9:35 a.m. Blogger Wan Azri Wanderis, also known as Papa Gomo, pleaded not guilty in the magistrate's court in Kuala Lumpur on Friday to failing to notify the authorities of a change in business details. The charge relates to the use of his business, Invoice Solutions, to receive public donations for a defamation fine linked to a case involving Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim. The 42-year-old entered his plea after the charge was read before Magistrate Ili Mariska Kalizan. Wan Azri was accused of failing to declare a change in his company's registered particulars when it was used to collect donations for settling the fine in 2017. He was charged under the Business Registration Rules, punishable under the Business Registration Act 1956. If convicted, he faces a maximum fine of 10,000 ringgit, imprisonment of up to 1 year, or both. The court granted Wan Azri bail of 2,500 ringgit with one surety and set January 30th for the next mention. In Johor, a teenager was remanded for 7 days after allegedly ramming into a motorcyclist in Pasir Gudang. The 18-year-old car driver was detained on Thursday and will remain in remand until next Thursday to assist in the investigation. Sri Alam Deputy Police Chief Superintendent M. Vikra, alias Victor Gunnison, said the incident occurred on Wednesday at Taman Johor Jaya. Preliminary investigations reveal that the suspect was furious with the motorcyclist for blocking his path. The suspect then ran over the victim and drove recklessly, causing his vehicle to roll into a ditch. The motorcyclist sustained injuries while his motorcycle was damaged. Investigations also revealed that the suspect had lodged a false police report on the incident. The case is being investigated under the Penal Code for attempted murder and criminal intimidation, as well as the Road Transport Act for reckless driving. In Perak, a prison warden was charged in the Taiping Magistrates Court on Friday with causing the death of an inmate. The accused, 25-year-old Rindi Onel Victor, pleaded not guilty when the charge was read before Magistrate Ahmad Hamdi Mustafa. Rindi is accused of committing the offence against 62-year-old Gan Chin Eng on January 17 between 3:30 p.m. and 4 p.m. at Dewan B, Taiping Prison. The charge was framed under the Penal Code, which carries a maximum prison term of 10 years or a fine or both upon conviction. The court allowed bail of 5,000 ringgit and fixed February 25th for the next case mentioned. On Tuesday, the prison's department admitted that its officers were at fault for violating detainees' basic rights during a relocation exercise at Taiping Prison earlier this year. Violence erupts in Bangladesh. The details when Nightline returns.
Sarah, what happened between you and Aiman?
Cuma lately ni dia nampak macam paranoid sikit. Ya, saya bina dia sebab selalunya saya tak mampu nak cakap semua tu dekat awak.
Saya tak nak benda macam tu buat kita misunderstand.
Bila masa aku hantar message ni?
Sarah, you okay? Dari tadi I tengok you lain macam je.
Sarah, saya je nak explain pasal message.
Aiman, awak tak payah nak explain lah.
Macam mana boleh keluar teks ni tiba-tiba?
I Crush You, Jumaat dan Sabtu 9 malam. Di Lestari TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Kampung! Jimmy jumpa duyung!
Jimmy mau tengok tempat tinggal Puteri? Jimmy dari kecil bersihkan kampung untuk jumpa Puteri. Jimmy suka Puteri.
Maafkan saya, Puteri.
Puteri tak boleh jumpa Jimmy lagi.
Jaga diri, Puteri.
Ini aku tak pasti dapatkah ku miliki.
Rahsia, air mata dan keputusan yang mengubah segalanya.
Saya ikhlas. Kau takkan sakitkan hati menteri. Saya nak perbetulkan keadaan.
Saya takkan duduk dengan manusia yang hipokrit macam you.
Mentari.
So abang pun tak percayakan dia ke apa ni?
Dia tu lebih percayakan perempuan tu daripada kita.
Liz tak boleh anggap makcik macam mak sendiri.
Bukan salah Liz. Ini semua salah aku sendiri.
Adakah aku bersalah? Cureka Rama Disember, Sabtu 10 malam di TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Melihat kembali kanvas penuh warna dan helaian fakta.
Menurut peristiwa, kisah dan detik yang membentuk arah negara dan dunia.
Imbasan 2025, retrospektif wajah masa depan.
Ahad 28 Disember, 5.32 petang. Hanya di TV3 dan stream HD di Tonton.
The foreign front. China and the US are stepping up separate efforts to secure a ceasefire between Thailand and Cambodia ahead of a special ASEAN ministers meeting on the border conflict. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio called Thai Foreign Minister Sihasak Phuangketkeow on Friday, reiterating Washington's concerns and urging Thailand to de-escalate tensions and honor the ceasefire agreement. Meanwhile, China's foreign ministry said that during talks on Thursday with its Thai and Cambodian counterparts, both officials expressed their desire to ease tensions and achieve a ceasefire. The Thai foreign ministry said Sihasak had reaffirmed Bangkok's position to Rubio and shared information on the way forward, including participation in Monday's ASEAN meeting. Cambodia, however, has yet to respond to the diplomatic efforts from Washington and Beijing. The death of a prominent leader of the youth movement that opposed former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina sparked violence in Bangladesh on Friday. Sharif Osman Hadi was shot by masked attackers while leaving a mosque in Dhaka last week and died from his injuries on Thursday while receiving treatment in Singapore. Following news of his death, hundreds of supporters protested in the capital city square and went on to vandalize the offices of major Bangladeshi newspapers, setting one building ablaze. Troops were deployed to the scene while firefighters rescued journalists trapped inside. The Australian government on Friday announced a gun buyback scheme in the wake of the Bondi Beach attack. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese called the plan the country's biggest gun buyback since 1996 and said authorities will purchase surplus, newly banned and illegal firearms. Albanese added that authorities in Australia's states and territories will be tasked with collecting the weapons and processing payments for surrendered firearms under the scheme. Federal police will then be responsible for destroying them. On to sports now in the 2025 Thailand SEA Games. The Malaysian contingent created a new milestone on Friday, racking up a total of 229 medals, the highest tally ever achieved at the regional games held outside Kuala Lumpur. It was a strong penultimate day of competition, with Malaysia adding 10 gold medals to take the overall haul to 56 golds, 57 silvers and 116 bronzes, moving the nation up to 4th place in the standings. Squash set the tone early, claiming both the men's and women's individual gold medals. Hockey delivered the expected 2 goals to the men's and women's field teams, although Malaysia missed out on gold on both indoor finals. Diving provided a late boost, with Noor Elisha Rania Abra Raj and Nurul Farisha Alia Effendi winning the women's synchronized 10-meter platform, while Noor Qayyum Nazim Nazmi and Yong Ruiji secured gold in the men's synchronized 3-meter springboard. Malaysia also struck gold in track cycling as Ridwan Sahrom, Fadil Zonis and Akmal Nazimi Jusina captured the men's team sprint title. The remaining gold medals came from women's bowling, the men's 50-meter rifle 3 position and the polo team in the 4 to 6 goals event. Turning to badminton, the 2025 BWF World Tour Finals. It was a gloomy final group day for Malaysia, but 2 national shuttlers remain genuine contenders to go all the way and claim the biggest payday of their careers, with 1.03 million ringgit on offer for champions in each category this weekend. Despite losing their final Group A match to a Japanese pair, national women's doubles combination, Pearly Tan and Tina, still topped the group to book a place in the semi-finals. The Malaysians were pushed to the limit in an 81-minute battle, eventually going down 15-21, 21-16, 19-21 to Yuki Fukushima and Mayu Matsumoto. In mixed doubles, world champions Cheng Tangji and Toh Iwei finished second in Group B after losing 18-21, 24-26 to China's world number 1 pair, Feng Yanzi and Huang Dongping in their final group match. The semi-final draw involving both Malaysian pairs will be conducted after the conclusion of all group matches. Football now, the Super League. 3 matches were played on Friday night. Penang FC eased to a 3-0 win over PDRM, while Kuching City FC thumped Malacca FC 4-0. At the Penang State Stadium, Terengganu FC held on for a narrow 3-2 victory over Immigration FC despite a late own goal. The visitors took an early lead in the 10th minute through Brazilian striker Careca, who finished clinically after a through ball from Akia Rashid. Immigration drew level 7 minutes later, with How Pedro turning home a simple finish. Careca restored Terengganu's lead just after the hour mark with a close-range header before Gabriel Silva made it 3-1 from the penalty spot in the 73rd minute. However, Terengganu substitute Shafiq Daniel scored an own goal late on, setting up a tense finish, but the Turtles held on for all 3 points. And that concludes Nightline this time around. Before we leave, let's take a look at Abu Dhabi, UAE, where 2,000 athletes from over 100 countries are taking part in the mixed gaming and traditional sports events at the Games of the Future. With that, I'm Zahir, Kelvin, Abdullah. Thank you for watching and have a great weekend.